Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gon' stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Ooh. Welcome to Coffee with Captain. Sorry, it's on the wrong screen. I was on Abstract. Abstract's on the slight delay. I heard the music end and I was like, wait a second, where am I? I'm supposed to pop up now. My bad. I was grabbing coffee and I forgot to turn the light out in the kitchen. So I'll go do that in a second. GM, thanks so much for joining us. Everybody done so. Do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Head top, smash that like, repost, bookmark on today's space. Greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo and does us real solid. We're also live over on Abstract. Let me make sure I start. Yes, this live stream is live over there, as well as YouTube. Appreciate all the GMers everywhere. As always, I'm Cap, co-host today. Never any financial advice this year. Crypto's risky as well. NFTs are risky. Meme coins accept risk. Go to zero to most notes. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. Know that I'll hold tokens I'll talk about here on the show today. I'm not a financial advisor. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join me for that. Just join me for some fun, some information, and maybe a little bit of education along the way. Mel, hope you get feeling better soon. And appreciate you being here regardless. Let me drop the YouTube link is going in the chat right now. I'll drop Abstract up there in 1 second. And if you're looking for either of those, you can find them in the Jumbotron here in about 7 seconds. All right, they're in the chat. Going up top here in a second. Kind of unless I missed something, kind of a slow day. Might actually get out of here in like the 60 to 90 minutes I keep saying I'm going to without Steve, despite me saying that, we've continued to run the 2-hour show. But I don't know if there's a whole lot going on today. It seems kind of light. The Alpine, shout out Jamber, the Alpine F1 Las Vegas poster on ApeCoin, that is available now. Pin that up top as well. Anyone collecting those race posters. The space is also linked up there. Space, video, all that good stuff. Appreciate all the love on the space. Appreciate y'all being here. And yeah, like I said, kind of a sleepy morning. We've got one more Beezie Claw draw to give away. We will do that here towards the end of the show. If anyone wants to participate, let us know in the chat. We'll pick one of you, preferably someone who hasn't done a claw pull, a coffee with Captain, I should say. Got a random. So let me start with this. I got a code open topic, and then we will get into the Pudgy DC takeover. Pretty. I'm gonna give him flowers. I actually haven't seen many people. The only people I've seen like take shots at, I think it was I don't remember the first one. Let me just go grab Lucas' tweet so I'm speaking correctly here. There was someone like who's heading up comms, Liz. Just recent, man. Twitter search is so bad.
This whole thing is broken, Captain.
Man, Twitter search is so bad. I don't understand how. I'm not even like, this isn't like, oh, look at me. I just don't. I can't. My brain cannot comprehend. I sometimes struggle reconciling things. It's impossible for my brain to reconcile how the CEO of one company leads a company that drove me to the gym this morning. Drove me to the gym itself, parked the car itself. I had no interactions other than hitting a button on my steering wheel and it took me straight there. That's pretty cool. We're like one step away from the Jetsons. At the same time, same CEO runs another company that we use every morning on this app here. And I'm not even going to go off on like spaces. And
Wait, is he the CEO here?
No, he's not CEO. You're right. I take it back. He's not the CEO. He, for all intents and purposes, he's running the company, or maybe not. He's not running the day to day. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's got his Tesla is like his beachfront property, and X is he just throws Nikita on it, and it's like it's the projects, and he just doesn't. I can't. The guy is flying rockets, self-driving cars, like some of the greatest tech in the world, and I just go into X search and search for Luca, who I've interacted with hundreds of times. We've had him on the show. I don't follow hardly any other Lucas, and yet somehow I can't find Luca Nets on X. I'm not going to talk about spaces and it glitching out. Like, how in the world is that even possible? It's like,
welcome to the social platform of the future.
Search didn't just get created like last month. Like Google, like this stuff it's mind-blowing to me how I can't find Luca Nets on X. I just did it again, and it gave me Luca. Gave me two Lucas first. This is on desktop now. Then it gave me Luca in Web3 with the guy with Animoca Brands, and it found him because that's who we interacted with on the whole stream drop thing, and I don't know what happened there. I followed up with them, and they ghosted me. So it looks like Animoca and that team rugged stream dropped. There's Luca. I'm going to share my screen just so you can experience what I experienced, because on mobile, I couldn't find Luca. By the way, I interacted with a tweet of his yesterday. On mobile, I couldn't find Luca, so I search on desktop, and here's my desktop search. One person I'm following, actually, the other two, the Lucas disappeared now for some reason, but there was two Lucas ahead of this Luca. So one Luca I'm following, then all these other Lucas, I have no idea who they are, I've never interacted with. Still looking. A lot of Lucas out there. Don't follow. Oh, maybe this is the Luca you're looking for. 87 Lucas down. There's two of them you follow, two Lucas, L-U-C-A that I follow on X. One I've interacted with maybe once or twice, the first Luca you saw. This one I've interacted with hundreds of times, and you think You think X, that might be who I was looking for. Sorry, I'll end my rant. I'm kind of frustrated with X chat. The new chat, I guess maybe it's a step. I'm going to have to type in the guy's full handle to actually find him on my phone. It's insane. It's insanity. Sorry, I'll stop bitching. It's so funny because this morning I actually was giving one of those companies flowers saying my car that I purchased last week is better this week. It's pretty amazing. When full self-driving was already cool. I got the new full self-driving updated today. It's even better. Now it parks itself. Before you had to drive to the parking spot, select the parking spot, hit start self-parking or whatever the button was. Now you just put in the address, it goes and finds the most logical parking spot. It's really insane that we have that tech on one side that's world-changing tech. And then here we're I don't know, we're pre-Google search error where we can't find a person's username. Anyways, I digress. My apologies. I did not plan on going on an X rant this morning. But yes, it was, now that I've got that out of my system, it was Congressman William Timmons was the first one to change to throw the Pudgy PFP on, excuse me. And then it was, if it finds this was it Liv or Liz? I think it was Liv. It finds Liv on the if it one shots Liv on search, I might.
Cap Coinbase changed theirs too to a Pudgy.
Oh yeah. I got off on this. I got off on this X rant. There was another topic I was going to hit on, cold open material, before I got into all the Pudgy stuff. Any idea what that was, Machiavelli?
No, not at all. We just started talking about the same CEO and owner of a company. One of them's the slumlord of the projects, and he has this prestige Trump building in New York City too.
All right, so they're both up top. Congressman William Timmons, Liz Willis. Liz is the America First comms on Capitol Hill. I don't even know what that means.
No, that's wild. Okay, because if a Capitol Hill's news reporter and somebody who's the head over there is changing it to a Pudgy, and we got a congressman at the same time, are Pudgies in the White House now? Is that what they're telling us?
Yeah, I think so. If not, they're going to be soon. We're for those of you who weren't here, it was 2022. Elon didn't exactly rock an 8 PFP. He rocked a screenshot of 100 apes with the tweet, changed his PFP, and then he tweeted out, I don't know, doesn't seem really, what did he say? I don't know, seems pretty fungible or something like that. And it was the exact Pico top. He marked the top of apes. That day, most people refer to apes as there was the exact Pico top, the all-time, the top of the floor was the exact day that Elon tweeted the 8 PFP. I kid you not, one of my in real life friends in my pickers group thread, he said, that's a top signal if I've ever seen one. Sure enough was. So this is the alpha. If Elon or Trump or any of the big figures adjacent to the White House tweet Pudgy Penguin PFP, that's your sign to sell. Probably sell everything, not just the Pudgies. But I'm trying to rack my brain.
I should offload the rest of my Pingu right now because it's up a little bit, but it's also way down.
I mean, this is also good idea of where we're at as a market is you got a sitting congressman and someone heading up comms in DC. And I mean, markets aren't great, but it's up 5% in 24 hours. I mean, it's up. It's just that kind of, it's like comparing back to 22 when Elon did that, I think it sent it, I don't even know. It was absurd. By comparison, Fartcoin's up 18% in the last day. I don't know what's happening there.
Hot air rises, Cap. Hot air rises.
That's what they say. I don't know if it's real or not. So abstract chat is my favorite chat. Although abstract, I think, might be dead if without a congressional takeover. Abstract may, I think it was Carlito's Way said, complete the comment. Abstract is blank, and most of the comments were dead on life support. Like, not a lot of confidence in abstract at the moment, but the chat is popping off. These live streams are good. Diablito says Cap only coming up with 99 Luft balloons sitting in his living room. I don't know what a Luft balloon is.
Well, Cap, if any of those projects from Abstract want to come over to Ape Chain, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'd be happy to have them.
You know what? We're gonna do a, before I get into real. Yeah, the difference between mobile and desktop is so horrendous. I go back and forth all the time using both and just facepalm throughout the day. It is, it's wild to me, because it's not, of all the stuff that they're building across entities. You would think search in 2025 is one of the easiest things to solve, and either that or they just don't care. I don't know. I'm going to pin up, we're doing a Beezie Cloffy with Captain here in a bit. So I'm going to pin up their most recent update with some rewards. Our guy Joey, shout out for that. The Jambert yesterday, we talked social clubs and power of community, and Jambert found this article confirming my priors. Was actually kind of blown away by the data. This article goes on to say it's titled "Coffee Shops as Dance Floors, Sauna Raves as Community Spaces, Gen Z's 92% nightlife shift. Social curious gatherings up 92% year over year. That's pretty crazy. I knew it was booming. If you would have asked me to put a number on it, I would have guessed like maybe 20-30% year over year, which is a huge number. It's almost 2x in the last year.
Cap, what is a social curious gathering? I'm a little lost there.
Think of any community event where it's not, I'm not saying there can't be alcohol there. It's just not the reason people are going. Like, like you didn't even know, like, what's a social, what's a community gathering? Well, I don't know, freaking potluck. Like most people today in today's world, like, we don't have community gatherings anymore. People go to bars or nightclubs. That's changing, and there's not just one answer. It's, you got your CrossFit communities, you got your yoga communities. But what's happening is retail businesses, coffee shops, contrast therapy, saunas, are seeing that people want community. A lot of people who go to contrast therapy, they're also into health and wellness. So they practice yoga. Oh, you know what? Let's bring a yogi in here and do a community event once a month, where we're getting everyone together that is like-minded. They have things in common, but the thing they have in common isn't alcohol. And you're seeing coffee shops put on raves. You're seeing saunas put on raves. They're taking nightlife, and it's not just nightlife. It's also co-working space, everything we talked about yesterday. The article I was not expecting to see a 92% year over year increase. Pretty insane. And I'm not even joking. I'm meeting with one of these owners of a kava bar, and they have a distribution company. It's been in business for years. They're successful, more so on the distribution side, on the product side, but they have one single retail store, and I'm going to meet with them. We've talked many times, basically agreed in terms of principle. I think I'm going to help them build out and scale a franchise arm of their brand. So we'll see. Still just agreed in principle. I also, though, another last cold open type material. By the way, that it's not pinned up top yet, but it should be up there in a second. In other cold open material, I did not burn $1,000 yesterday. I don't think inspection went better. It went as expected. So no major, foundation's fine. There's no termites. There's no things I couldn't see with my eyeballs. None of that stuff hit. And all I need now is just the mold test to come back clear, and we're probably in the good. It's going to be a freaking project. I'm probably going to be cursing it on the show here, and because it's a big project, but it's just, they priced it below market. They know they priced it below market. Basically, three brothers are out of state. I don't know if it's their mom or their dad or both. They acquired it via, or maybe they bought it via an estate sale. I don't know. It wasn't their home primary residence. It was 3 brothers now own it. So I'm assuming it was, in a, their parent passed away is my guess. And they want it off their hands. And so we'll see. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm bracing myself that I'm not going to move forward with it. And if I do, it should be can't flip NFTs anymore. So we're back to, we're going to flipping houses or rentals. If anyone actually, no joke, if anyone would like to live, is Vicky out there? I actually meant to text her yesterday. This is like, I can tell you all the reasons why you want to live in St. Pete and sell you on why you'd want to live in this property. But the real reason is you are 10 to 15 minutes away from multiple world-class beaches, including Madeira Beach, where the greatest ice cream shop on the Gulf Coast of Florida exists, Hayes Ice Cream, Vicky's Ice Cream Shop. You're maybe 12 minutes from Vicky's Ice Cream Shop, where if I close in this place, where it will be. So if anyone's looking for I may do a pad split. If anyone's ever heard of pad split, it's like not Airbnb. Airbnb actually has some restrictions in St. Pete. It is you basically just you rent your rooms to individuals. So it's more like similar to what you'd see on like college campuses, but it's popping off in other non-campus markets. As the rental market is, there's more renters than there are buyers, and so options for renters, and we'll see. Not sure what I'm doing with it yet. Not even sure I closed, but that's all I got on Quote Open Happenings now that I got the X rant off my chest. And not even kidding though, oh wow, James Hall says, I cannot believe I just heard pad split from you. I worked on their MVP admin system. We were just a small little tiny startup here in Atlanta. James, they're blowing up. I don't know if it's every market. I'd only gotten turned on to them recently. Was actually by a woman I dated. This is also why, if you're single and you're out there, why you should go, whether you want to take Bill Ackman's advice and say, may I meet you? Or you want to be normal and just talk to women, or women talk to men. That's why you should meet people. Also why community is important, because networking matters. Networking helps. It turns you on to things like pad split and could make my investment more profitable than doing Airbnb or traditional tenants. I'm trying to keep myself out of trouble here. The other reason you want to, never mind, I'm not going to go there. Shocker Man Dan says, bought a $38,000 Tesla with full self-driving in March, bought $75K a Tesla over the next 45 days. It's not perfect, but it's really amazing. Yeah, I am. I mentioned yesterday, considering full porting my crypto bags into Tesla. And it's not just the cars. It's there's like two paths forward. They either build out Optimus like they build out Teslas, or they build out Optimus like they build out X Search. If it's like X Search, send it to zero. Optimus will pull Tesla down to zero. If they build out Optimus like they have the Teslas, which I am more inclined to believe will be the case, it's drastically underpriced. I have full conviction in a couple of things. One is the proliferation of these. They needed a better name than sober curious, because some people are just like allergic to the word sober. Like, oh, I drink. I don't want to be around sober people. Stop being weird. Just go hang out with people.
What's Optimus, Cap? I'm not really familiar. I haven't been paying that close attention to that.
Optimus is the robot, the in-home robot.
Oh, okay. They called it Optimus, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's original.
Yeah, I'm a very much becoming a big Tesla bull, and if I take this property down, I'm definitely doing.
You could do a pad split with a whole bunch of Optimuses. You know what I mean? And they'll just leave to go to work at somebody's house every day.
I mean, as long as the Optimus will pay rent, I mean, that's probably better than.
They going to work, bro. They're going to work.
The other thing is Maybe we just need a test. This would really piss some people off who are the not fans of Elon. If we do a Tesla segment here on Coffee with Captain. Mesh. If anyone's upset with me, don't be upset with me. Be upset with Mesh. If we go back to the Latinas topic, it's not me. I just do what the people talk about. I just respond to chat, and if the chat wants to talk about Latinas, I have a duty to do what the people want to talk about. I'm going to try to pronounce arepas again. Is that better? Can I get a thumbs up on the arepas pronunciation? Arepas.
Sounds great.
I shared yesterday with my Latina friend that I apparently had been pronouncing arepas wrong, to which she replied, "No, you haven't. You've had two Venezuelans here that you're saying it absolutely perfectly." So either the arepas pronunciation that I said yesterday came out just because I'm on Coffee with Captain, and sometimes words, I just say things and then it stuck in my head and I didn't get my head back on right, or she really likes me and didn't want to embarrass me by saying, yes, I've been pronouncing it and sounding like I'm saying arepas, and that's not how you're supposed to pronounce it. I don't believe it's not like grapes. I blame the word grapes on my arepas pronunciation previously. I think arepas is correct. I do need confirmation if there's any arepas, not arepa. Now, Von Front is just effing with me because he said arepa, not arepa, and it's exact. Like, what is the difference between R-E-H and R-E-E? It's the same. I pronounce that the same. Arepa. I can't see your request, Joey. Joey, something's broken with your X. You've not appeared in X all week for me. Machiavelli, do you see Joey out there?
No, I was really wondering like where he's been too, because I'm like, yo, where's Joey been? He beats me up here every day.
Arriba.
That's what you're trying to say. I was like, yo, is he trying to say tripas? What is he trying to say?
I just put you heard me stirring earlier. I just put some of the no hard E. I don't even know what a hard E is. I grew up in Southeast Ohio. Do you think I understand what a hard E and a softie is? I have no clue.
We all know what softies are. They're all over this place.
I need about 20 minutes. I did some of my favorite butter from Lone Star Provisions, our guy Dillo, in my coffee this morning. So give me about 20 minutes, and then we may talk arepas. That was it right there. Right?
They make the best butter right there. Dillo has got the sauce.
Von Frunten, was that last one correct? Did I get it? Did it come out correctly? Arepa. It's like Andre, arepa.
Oh my God, Cap! I first, for all those listening, I apologize on behalf of the Midwest. Cap does not represent us. Please don't think less about us because of what you're hearing on the show right now. First, we're going to talk about long vowel sounds and short vowel sounds. The long E sounds like E. The short E sounds like eh.
Okay, so
what you want is arepa.
Then what's a hard one and a soft one? I get long and short. What's the difference between hard and soft?
That's made up. Somebody made that up just to mess with you. You want a short E sound in the middle, eh, not E.
Arepa.
There.
Arepa.
Thank you.
Arepa.
What is an arepa? Because like arriba means like you never heard speaking arriba, like let's go.
Arepa. Shit, I did it again. Arepa is the best food you've never eaten before. If you don't know what it is better. Like if you like tacos or pitas or anything that you stuff food into, arepas will change your life. I'm gonna roll my R's next time I see her, and she's gonna look at me like, "What are you doing? Are you trying to suck up? Like what? I've never rolled my R's before in any conversation. I'm gonna start rolling my R's now, and I'm sweating once again by this arepa conversation. I don't know where to go from here. I actually was not planning on going full arepa again, but here we are. It's not helping that I've seen like 18 different ways to phonetically pronounce arepa, and they all confuse me. Conjunction junction was the extent of my
What's your function, Cap? Hey, Cap, I'll be right back. I got to take the little one to school.
appreciate you. Yeah, I don't have a Latino accent. That's what I know there's no rape in it. I know that now. I blame the word grapes. Whoever named grapes, they messed up. I'm not going to tell her that arepas are originally from Colombia. I've not seen the spicy Latina come out yet. I hear it is programmed, and I actually Von Frunton and Instagram tells me I've got about 3 months. Got about 3 months from start till spicy Latina reveals herself. Is this accurate, Von Frunton? He's not going to answer. No comment. Ape Whale, GM sir, always a pleasure.
GM. So I have a couple minutes, and I'm hearing you like say that word so incorrectly. It's bothering me. So it's arepa.
Arepa.
Arepa, yes.
Arepa. So I was saying it right. It is arepa.
Arepa, yes. Not read. No, don't say e. Say like my friend was saying. It's arepa.
But I hear the. And please don't cancel me. I hear the rape when you're in your pronunciation. I hear rape there. Is that proper?
Arepa. I don't feel like I'm saying ape in there. I'm saying
arepa. Arepa. They
say
told me
F instead of ape.
Man, I'm more confused than ever before. I thought I nailed it, and now I think I'm just gonna trust the Venezuelan. She said I was saying it correctly.
No, you're not. No, it's arepa. It's like F instead of ape.
Here's what I know. I need to spend. Maybe I just extend my trip to Art Basel and spend some more time in Miami. I need more Latinas in my life. That is the TLDR. That's the conclusion I came to. I don't have nearly enough Latinas or Latinos in my life, and I need more of them. They're all good people. I enjoy hanging out. The food's incredible, and I would prefer not to sound like an idiot when I am in Costa Rica in a couple weeks. Diego, GM sir, what brought you up?
Hey Cap, how are you, man?
Doing great.
All good?
Doing great. Yes, thank you.
No. Just joined it. Hear you talking in Spanish and Latinas and about Miami. You're gonna love it, man.
Oh, I know. Miami's enjoyable, and for as big as a fan as I am on Venezuela and the Colombians, Cuba is really what has my heart. Like the Cuban colada is the greatest coffee in the world, and there might not be a close second.
Did you were in Venezuela?
I've not been yet. No.
Okay, you're gonna love it. I'm from Venezuela.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm living in Spain.
My Latina friend is from Venezuela.
Oh, amazing. Be careful.
So that's what everyone says. The spiciness is coming. I've not seen it. All I've seen so far is she's like the sweetest, caring, like thinks I hung the moon. I didn't. I don't have the heart to tell her the moon may not be real, and humans haven't landed on the moon yet, but that's another conversation for another day. I've been told I've got about 3 months until the spiciness reveals itself. Is that fairly accurate?
Yeah. Don't get her mad because you're gonna face the fears of Latinas.
It's hard for me to even.
Are very terrible.
It's hard for me to even visualize or even imagine the spiciness because of her demeanor and personality is just like she's just one of the kindest, sweetest people I've met. And but I believe you. I have seen other Latina spice, so I'm not doubting it. I'm going to be on my best behavior because I'd prefer it not to come out, I think. Or maybe I just need it to come out because you got to experience that once in your life, I think. Anyways.
I recommend you to stay safe, Cap, okay? So I'm going to keep working here, send you a big hug. I'm going to stay listening to you, my friend. Bye.
QB in Ape in the chat says, I'm Latina, by the way, and can confirm 3 months is about right. So this is Alpha. If you've tuned in for dating advice and you are in the Latina demographic or Latino demographic, Actually, does it work both ways? Are Latino men the same way? Does their spice come out in about 3 months, or is this just purely Latina thing? No one wants to answer that one. Yeah, dude, I don't, Briz, I have no idea what's going on with X. Apparently, it's not just search, but I've seen multiple people, they've said I'm getting kicked out of X. Joey hasn't been showing up all week. X really is broken. It's not just me trying to search for Luca Nets, the only Luca I interact with on Twitter and can't find him. Apparently, Elon and team have just been putting too much effort and time and focus into upgrading their Teslas and new full self-driving, which is incredible. I've been bragging on it already. That was my early morning post. Was I've had the car for a week and it's already a better car. Got the new full self-driving 14 update today, and there's a lot of changes, but the big one is, as far as nobody says, yeah, the spicy's coming for me. His wife's from the DR. Just wait. I kind of I need some spice in my life, if I'm being honest. Latinas make the best coffee too, and the best arepas. I think I can handle the spice. I say this now. I may change my tune down the road, but I don't enjoy conflict, but I also am not perfect. And when I screw up, I'd rather someone tell me and be very blunt and candid about it, and let's get it out there and then make up, versus don't keep that. What I despise is people who get upset about something and they won't communicate, they won't share, they won't tell you what they're upset about, and they just keep it bottled up, and they give you an attitude, or they don't talk to you for weeks or months or whatever. Get that out of here. Life's too short. If you're mad at me, bring out the spice and let's get it on the table. Anyways, I digress. Back to, or maybe not even back to, starting all things. Steve, GM, sir, we're turning this into we've created a few segments here. One is we're going to have a new Tesla segment. We're going to have a new Latina segment, and a few others that TBD. We've had a few ideas. We may have to extend the show 3 hours just to fit in all the new segments here. Excuse me. So now that I've got that off my chest, now that I'm done sweating, on to some real Web3 stuff. I could talk Latinas and Cuban coladas all morning. Yeah, Joey, no one can see you in the space. And yes, I think this is also a bear market indicator. If we can spend 40 minutes talking about Latinas and arepas, that's it. Arepas. I do need a Latin training camp. Who's building this? Who's building a Latin training camp on chain? I'm in. I would pay. I'm going to get the Apple AirPods that translate for me. I need someone to fix my vernacular without me having to think about it. Dort, having met your wife, I think my friend is similar, mild. I'm not saying that there's not the spice. And if she listens to this, I'm going to be bad spot if she listens to this, probably. Tomorrow is my first ever Latina Friendsgiving. I will be the only gringo in attendance, and probably the only person who's English, or will be the only person whose English is their first language. So tune in Monday for Cap pronounces arepas in front of a room full of Latinas and Latinos. With that, maybe Liz, this is how we tie it all together. Maybe Liz Willis. Oh my goodness. This is how you call a professional transition. Speaking of Latinas, I think Liz might be Latina. Is this fair? Do we have not only a first comms on Capitol Hill rocking a Pudgy Penguin? Is it a Latina on America's first comms rocking a Latina? If anyone's looking at the screen, could I get a confirmation? I think there's a chance that Liz is Latina at least. Hey, Joey's appeared. We got a wild Joey. Can't wait to hear what Joey, who also has some history. I'm not trying to get Joey, a married man, in trouble, but I found out yesterday I learned that Joey also has some history with Latinas. Joey, GM, sir. Hopefully it's the Pudgy takeover, the Pudgy proliferation that brought you up. But if you have I know you've been battling X for the last 40 minutes. So if you have one quick comment on Latinas or Ripas, feel free to get in here.
Yeah, so I had to join from my computer because my phone apparently doesn't work on X anymore for joining spaces. So I don't even know how I sound. Is it clear?
You're fine. I can tell you're not on like a mic or headphones or something, but it's fine. We can hear you. It's just a little like muffled, but you're good.
So what I will say about this whole conversation about this delightful breakfast treat from South America is that there's a debate, the debate's going on in the war room, and I don't remember who just said it, but depending on the individual you speak to from the country and the region, depends on how it will be pronounced. And it also depends on how it will be prepared. So how they're prepared in Venezuela versus how they're prepared in Colombia versus how they're prepared in, I think I want to say there is a Central American country that also prepares them. Also how they're pronounced. So I think we also need to get clarification on, is it a Venezuelan arepa or is it a Colombian?
It's a Venezuelan arepa.
Yeah, so my ex-wife was Venezuelan. Like her family, all of her family lived in Venezuela except for her. And I spent 2 weeks in Venezuela, and it was pronounced arepa in Venezuela. So I can't roll my R's. I am born and raised in America. I lost the ability to roll my R's, but they pronounced it arepa. So
I was right. I've been right this whole time. I feel this is the biggest vindication I've ever got in my life. For me, mispronunciation. I got drugged in the war room yesterday saying I was wrong. You can't say the hard R like that. That's how the Venezuelans speak. I'm not eating Colombian arepas. I'm eating Venezuelan arepas.
Yeah, there's also been like the gringoization of how these things are pronounced too. Like, we get a lot of cuisines from all around the world and then we just butcher the way they're pronounced here, and then they're just adopted because people get tired of correcting us. Is also part of it. But I can tell you again, having been to Venezuela and spent time with her family, that's how they pronounce it. Again, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, because again, there are dialects within every country, and then every country speaks Spanish differently based on accents and things like that. I can just tell you the way it was told to me by my ex and her family, who are from from Venezuela. And they were from, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank now. What's the capital of Venezuela? I don't know. But anyways.
Well, I think you guys sound great. And I was raised in Latina Factory.
Liz Willis might be Latina, I think. Probably enjoys arepas or ripas or however we're pronouncing it. And she also
I will say it's an extremely diverse food. Like, you can go to a Latin cafe in the morning and you can simply just put some butter on it and have it with your coffee. Or you can go a little bit more complex and do like a jamon and cheese. Or you could even do it sometimes for dinner, and you can do like, some type of shredded meat and cheese on it. Like it's a very diverse vessel, and it is an extremely delicious treat. If you've never had one, I would highly suggest you find one. I will say though, there are like, when you go to like carnivals and sporting events, they'll advertise arepas. And it's not the Venezuelan or Colombian kind. They're like yellow corn. It's like 2 yellow corn discs with cheese in the middle. And I don't know where that one is from, but the one that we're talking about is white corn, so white masa, that's got a harder outer shell and then a pillowy, soft inside. Typically no bigger than probably like a baseball.
Yep.
And you slice it down the middle, melt some cheese on it. Melt some butter on it, and then add whatever you want. I've had like a Venezuelan style chicken salad inside. It's such a diverse vessel, and it's so delicious.
First one I had was like shredded chicken and avocado and just a bunch of goodness. The second one I had was just butter and scrambled eggs. And to your point, you can throw about anything in it. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I truly believe, as much as I believe like the kava bar, the non-alcoholic bar, the functional beverage business that's not alcoholic, the community-based business, much I believe those concepts are going to explode and you're going to start seeing them everywhere throughout the US. I also believe there is a massive opportunity in the food space to scale this. It's better. It's better than tacos. It's better than tortillas. It's better than anything. It's better than bread. Like, it's just better. And you can't tell me like you can't manufacture, put it in a little bread bag, like just like you see a pita bag. And I would buy them exclusively. If I could buy them in a store, I would never buy tortillas, tacos, or pitas again.
So there's a couple arepa franchises, Cap. Actually, we had one down here by me, and it ended up shutting down. But I think one's called like Arepa House, and then
I'm not talking about a fast food place or a food restaurant. I'm talking about put it in grocery stores. Like, let me go to the store and buy it, and that will be my go-to bread replacement.
So they actually, you can go on Amazon right now, and it looks like, everybody remembers what the George Foreman grill looked like. If you haven't had one in a long time, it looks just like a George Foreman, except it has four circular spots where you basically just put you make your dough, which is literally just white masa and water, and then you form it into a little ball. You put it into the four little spots, close the lid, and then when the light turns off, you've got four perfectly formed cooked arepas. It's like super, super simple. The traditional way is you cook them in a pan to cook the outside. You cook them in a pan, top and bottom, then put them in the oven to finish. But obviously, if we could make a simpler machine, but yeah, that's the real simple way to make them.
This has been like, I don't know if we've ever, sorry, Joey. I don't know if I've ever shilled or we've ever shilled the DJ in War Room 3 days in a row, but we're doing it again today. You got me. I'm not even going to recap it. I would lose it again. Y'all are awesome. You're, in addition to the War Room, Diablito wins the abstract chat today. He says, Steve leaves for a month and the show becomes Arepas with Captain. I'm just changing the title on that one. We're fully leaning into nonsense today. Markets are down. The bear market is here. We are now Arepas with Captain this morning.
With taxi cab confessions.
with taxi cab confessions and Solomon, I love your idea.
Alternative business ideas, right? Listen, peaks down, Bitcoin's down. Just start an arepa stand outside of your local sporting stadium or arena.
If you want to trade traditional equities, go listen to or buy gold. Go listen to Modern Market. If you're looking for alternative, like real alternative investments, non-crypto, that will find a way to pull this shit on chain at some point. You don't want to miss another coffee with Captain. We are going to full leaning into alternative investment cycles, anything from arepas to non-alcoholic coffee shops to contrast therapies, everything in between. Solomon, I love the idea with words with Cap, but there needs to be more little alliteration there, like something like conjunction junction with Cap, but not that. And it probably not a segment, more so a clip. Like I could probably, if someone wants to be the clipper, without trying, zero effort on my part, just my genuine, authentic self, I could probably give you at least one clip, if not multiple clips a day, where I mispronounce something. That needs to be our new. Forget clipping like great alpha takes or founder interviews. Just a new word every day that I mispronounce on Coffee with Captain. I think you're onto something, Solomon. Diego, go ahead and get back in here.
Your idea about the arepas, so you can have it ready for your home. It's not that simple, because the magic about the arepas is how you prepare the mix of the harina pan. It's called harina pan. Is the corn flour that we use to prepare the arepas. You buy the arepas directly in a store, maybe they're not gonna be so fresh, and you're not gonna love the experience. If you have your partner that you already mentioned before, you can ask her to maybe teach you how to prepare the arepas mix, so you can have it whenever you like. It only takes like 15 minutes to prepare the mix. Get your arepa done for your breakfast or even your dinner.
I hear you. I understand that'd be the proper way. I probably could learn to do it. I'm sure I could.
I mean,
my brain is just broken.
Just eat it with butter and be happy. Who needs to prepare all the meats and stuff to go with it? Just give me some butter, and I'm a happy man.
My brain is broken in the sense that I see something I really like, and I discover it, and I realize I'm 45 years old and just now discovering something, and then I realize that it's actually a huge thing, but yet most of America doesn't know it. My brain thinks, how can I steal this idea and capitalize it and make money off of it in America? Sorry, it's just who I am. It's how I'm wired. I'm not just living in a capitalistic society. I'm a capitalist, and it's not that it's about, I mean, it is about money, but it's also like, I want other people to experience this. It's life-changing food. And if you've never had it, you need to at least experience it. Most people are lazy. They're not going to go make especially if they've never had it before, they're not just going to make their own. Therefore, I think they need to be introduced to it via a supermarket with it being in a bag, and they come home and they throw it in I don't know, an air fryer or a toaster, warm it up a little bit, stuff some goodness in there. And then you can expand the brand. You can have, because there's so many things you can make. It's so versatile. It's much more versatile than a taco. You could have arepa cookbooks. Like you can have a whole business around teaching Americans how to enjoy this delicious food. We're 50. Last comment on the last comment. We do have to actually talk some serious crypto stuff. We're 51 minutes into a cold open. Steve is listening, and I feel like I'm getting in trouble. I feel like I'm a substitute teacher right now, and the principal's looking in and like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Go ahead, Joey.
There's actually a franchise bakery / restaurant called Don Pan, Donpan. They actually, it's like a Latin bakery.
Ooh.
And you can go in there and get fresh made arepas. To his point, like, you don't want to buy them if they're like sitting there in the case 4 hours later. So if you can find a Don Pan, Donpan, 2 words, that's where you can get them made by somebody else and still be somewhat fresh.
This is not, I mean, it is a bit, but it's not a bit. I actually enjoy, like, this is my favorite cuisine, and I'll prove it. That last night I just dropped it in the chat. Last night I was walking Duke. There was a food truck. I saw the food truck had ropa viejas, so I got one. But it wasn't what I know ropa viejas to be. This was actually it was a sandwich, which I'd never had before, and it was really good. It's like, again, I think they're misnaming it because there's another spot I go to and I'll get ropa viejas on a regular basis. But this ropa viejas Cuban dish, they call it, this food truck, it looked like this. It was really good. It's just like, I've never had, like, ropa viejas that I've had. It's the brisket, the pulled brisket with rice and beans, etc. Yeah, this is my Latin food is my favorite food, and coffee is probably not close. Maybe why I'm moving to Costa Rica sooner or later. Hey, listen, appreciate everyone adding to the arepa and Latina conversation this morning. We've got we actually don't have a whole lot going on in markets, but we do have the Pudgy proliferation thesis continuing to play out in real time. And I actually just found some alpha. I haven't seen anyone talk about this. Everyone was talking about Liz and her PFP change. And the other PFP change from from William Timmons, who is in the House. Here's what no one's noticed yet, I don't think. Liz works for William Timmons. Liz is where did I see it? So she's the director of comms for the House. But I think I saw specifically somewhere, I thought I saw, so she's the communications director for William Timmons. So someone at Igloo got either Liz and or William Timmons on board, but I'm truly curious how those conversations are going, right? Like, and what's the why behind it? Any guesses? Like, my assumption is it's more than just proliferation here. I don't think they're just getting House of Representatives and their communications director to swap to a Pudgy PFP because like, oh, hey, this would be a cool profile picture on X. There's something else there. Like Coinbase swapping to a Pudgy PFP, sure, they're in the space, makes sense. Why would a U.S. House of Representatives and their communications director both swap to a custom Pudgy PFP? Joey, any guesses? And I want to go around the horn. I like all your takes on this one if you can share.
I mean, could there be some lobbying happening?
That's my assumption. Yeah.
Potential Pengu ETF and right, like somebody in DC, you know, maybe they've connected with the right people in DC to help push the crypto narrative / Pengu ETF narrative. I don't know. That's what it kind of seems like to me, right? Is there's some government, some lobbying going on, and I don't want to speculate, but you know, when you
I think there's definitely lobbying going on. The question would be like, for what? And if you see Luca after Simmons changed the profile pic, Luca quote tweeted, said the face of crypto, to which then Heather Smith, who is, oh Jesus, that's the whole team. So it's not just Liz and Timmons. Heather Smith, who's the chief of staff for Timmons, also rocking a custom Pudgy PFP. I haven't seen anyone tweet about Heather yet. Only has 808 followers. Only 19 of us here on Crypto Twitter have found her. I'm not going to comment on the Reagan Bush background, but I'm an 1880s baby, so to see a 1984 T-shirt, like they win me over regardless of who they're supporting. And I think I'm not going to talk politics. I remember Reagan being a good president. I was a kid. What do I know? CoinDesk also said he did the thing. This was replying to Timmons, to which Timmons retweeted. Promises made, promises kept. Oh, but because he said if it gets 10,000 or 1,000 likes, I'll change the PFP. Got 10,000 likes and I'll make this my profile pic. It got 24,000. Yeah. So yes, I assume lobbying. They're clearly in with Congressman Timmons, who it's not just Timmons, but isn't seemingly many on his team are doing the same thing. Why though? What are they lobbying for? What's the connection here? Von Front, any guesses?
Good question. I don't know. I feel like it's bigger than an ETF. Like I don't think you go. And I'd have to look at like what committees Timmons is on and things like that. Like that's probably like the next level of this investigation. If anyone wants to go start looking into this, is what are the committees that Timmons is on? Does he chair anything? And what influence do those committees have? Because you don't just go, like when you're lobbying, you don't just go to random, people in Congress. You go to the people in Congress who can actually influence the legislation that you're trying to get done. So where does Timmons have influence? I don't know. I mean, Luca's been very public on, Inner Igloos about like he spends time in DC. So we know that's happening. We know that's very much part of his focus as a representative of crypto, as well as, advancing things that are important to Igloo. I do wonder, because I think it's he has said publicly on the timeline about wanting to take Igloo public, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know offhand if there are any regulations or restrictions about crypto native companies being traded publicly. Like I know Animoca just did their whole reverse merger and they may become, a first, I'll call it, I'm air quoting crypto native company that, could be publicly traded on like a US stock exchange. But then again, they also make games, they do other things. It's not like quote unquote crypto, right? Like 100%, I mean, I guess outside of like selling toys in Walmart. So near 100% of Igloo's business has to deal with blockchain, whether it's abstract or Pudgy Penguins or so forth. So, or Pengu. So maybe it's something like that. I'd be interesting, but like, I think that's the next set of questions is, where does Timmons hold sway in DC with what committees? And that probably starts you down the path of what they may be lobbying for.
Yeah, great take. I agree. I'm curious. See Oxy coming up. Be curious to see his take. There's also Diablito just shared this from Austin Campbell. It says, as someone who once had Grumpy Cat as my official profile picture in the official directory of one of the big 4 banks in America for many years, I can only say that you should be very concerned if you're planning to run against this guy. No way to know what he has in his bag. Wouldn't that be something? If you see politicians start leaning into crypto and Web3 because they think they can get a groundswell of support, which seemingly has happened. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is probably the most engaged post of all time for Mr. Timmons. If I were to guess, Oxy GM, what's your thoughts on this, sir? Any ideas? What's the why behind this? Why would a congressman and his entire staff be swapping to Pudgy PFPs? What's your thoughts? I got no audio from Oxy. Oh, we're back. We got you. Yeah, you're good. I think you're good. I could hear you for a second, and then we lost you again. We're gonna work on the mic. We'll get Oxy back up here. Check. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Okay. So I think I truly think there's something to be said about like trying to get crypto constituents or people to like, think highly of you. It's funny how this last like Trump campaign was so heavily focused on getting people who are into crypto on board. There's a real thing to be said about single issue voters, especially in like this crypto and Web3 space, where like a lot of people work in it. A lot of people with a lot of money work in this industry, in this space, and I don't know. I think there's something to be said. Like, hey, if we can get some of these folks on board, they've got money, they've got capital, they've got influence on social media sites, so on and so forth. I think there's something to be said about just simply, changing the PFP to try and get some more people interested in like what they're trying to push down the line and actually listening to them. Like, like Senator Loomis pushing like this, like the Bitcoin reserve stuff. I don't know the numbers, but I'd be willing to bet her social influence has gone up significantly since she started being in the spotlight when it comes to crypto and pushing that agenda. So I truly think that has something to do with it.
I agree, and checks out. I think you're right. I think because of what the results they've seen and the social engagement they've seen, I think you could have nailed this. This could be a continuation on what we saw last presidential election season. Was they realized they needed to lean into podcasts and the social front to reach, they started paying Gen Z's, Zoomer influencers. And I could very much see others leaning into crypto because they recognize that it's not just a hot topic, it'll actually grow your reach. And Von Frutton, I'm going to go back to you here in a second because you nailed it. Per AI overview, by the way, Google Gemini 3 is now again the best LLM on the market per the benchmark testing. It tells me William Timmons is on the House Committee of Financial Services and the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. He's also been a member of specific subcommittees within the Financial Services Committee, including those on digital assets, financial technology, artificial intelligence, and housing and insurance. Subcommittee on digital assets, financial technology, and artificial intelligence. That seems pretty spot on. My Von Friend, I'm going to get right back to you, but then the follow-up question, pick it wherever you'd like. The follow-up question is it Luca? Does he have a lobbyist on his, like how are they getting in with people like William who are passionate about this? And like, I feel like there's something there that we're not thinking about yet, or there's some initiative beyond just these, like, all makes sense. Yes, but how does he go from sitting on a subcommittee, including, digital assets, to rocking a Pudgy PFP?
Before I answer, so I don't know the answer to your question. I'm assuming Luca I'm assuming there is a crypto lobbying network in DC.
I'm going to step away for like 30 seconds. I can hear you, but if you get done talking, anyone else jump in and give your take on this. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got more than 30 seconds here. Don't worry. So two things. One, I'm assuming there are crypto lobbyists in DC. the same people. Coinbase doesn't just, Brian Armstrong, even with all of his power, doesn't just show up and say, hey, I want a meeting. They work through lobbyists, the people who have the network, the connections to get the right people in the meeting, and lobbyists can make a ton of money by specializing in a certain area, because then all the crypto companies will go through them and pay them to get them connections in DC. So that's what I'm assuming is happening here, whether it's Luca or if Garga is in there or, Coinbase or whoever. And to give a little bit more specificity of what Timmons is doing here, recently introduced HR 10544, the New Frontiers in Technology, or NFT Act, which takes the first steps to clarify the legal and regulatory treatments of non-fungible tokens used for private, personal, familiar reasons that are in fact not securities. Defines NFTs as unique, cryptographically recorded assets on a publicly distributed ledger, excluding financial instruments like stocks or securities. So there, it kind of goes on, but really they've talked about it where they say, hey, NFTs aren't securities, NFTs aren't securities. This looks like and the attempt to actually codify that into law to say that NFTs are in fact collectibles and not securities. And Timmons is the lead author, along with Representative Richie Torres from New York's 15th District. So
my guess is Cap isn't back yet.
That's I'm guessing too. I don't know. I'm speculating on a lot, but I feel very certain the Cap isn't back yet.
I'm back.
What did you do the research? Oh, he's here.
Didn't have a chance to fill the coffee yet, but I heard you. I heard the pause, so I came running back. Coffee just.
If you need to go fill your coffee, me and Ron Front can handle it.
It's done. So just go ahead and take it, Joey, and I'll literally, this is like a 5-second run to the kitchen and back.
Yeah, Von Front, do you think? What do you think the timeline is for something like this? You think this is like a 2026 thing, or is this? You think this is something that they're trying to push for to happen in 2026?
It doesn't seem hyper controversial. I think I'm guessing they have the numbers. I think the big question on my mind, I don't think this is anything that requires like supermajority crap in the Senate. So they can get, they'll win the tiebreaker if it really needs to go to that stage of things. And I don't think that, not to get into like politics or things like that, but it's like, I don't know if crypto is the lightning rod issue for really either side of the aisle that it once was. Like, it was about a year ago, and then all the crypto stuff happened, and good, bad, and different. But it's just kind of like, it feels at least more normalized now in the US than it was a year ago, where it was the devil, right? It was only used for money laundering and crime. And now you've seen legislation pass over the summer. Now, granted, you could say that legislation favored companies like Coinbase more than decentralization. You could say that legislation, probably, didn't move the needle enough for, people on crypto Twitter who are on like the far edge of the risk curve, who are looking for greater, regulation on kind of the stuff that we play in. But you saw the first steps already take place with laws and regulations built around crypto to normalize it. You're seeing institutional adoption of it. So this doesn't feel like something that's going to take a lot of time. I think the only reason that maybe this doesn't go through next year is it just keeps getting bumped down from a prioritization standpoint, right? Policy and politics are intertwined. And so this could be really easy policy, but it could be like, hey, there's another government shutdown. There's another hot button issue that takes over the news cycle that Congress has to go and act on. And, quote unquote, mundane things like this that are really good policy, make a lot of sense, but not a lot of people are up in arms about, just kind of get bumped down the agenda because they got to hit the hot button topic first.
Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
I was going to say, so we're thinking that, so the deduction here is that the Pudgy team has linked up. This is where we need Warp Joe up here. So we're thinking that like the Pudgy team linked up with some lobbyists to connect them with the individuals that are the ones trying to push forward regulation, and in their mind, getting them. But like, what is I guess the ultimate question is like, what does them changing their PFPs to Pudgies really do? Like, do we think, like, we think it's cool here, maybe on Crypto Twitter, but how does that appear to the other people in the government that are too old to even, that are going to look at them and go, how can we take you seriously? Or maybe I'm wrong, but like, what does that do effectively?
Yeah. So I think we'll see. The bet is, so Cap mentioned it a little bit of like, these are probably going to be the most engaged with tweets that this congressman and his staff have. And again, suspend the belief that politics is a serious business for a minute. And that it is very much about a bunch of people trying to keep their jobs every 2 to 6 years, depending on which side of of Congress you're on, right? They're going to come in and say, "Hey, I have this thing that's really important to me. It's the NFT Act, blah 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 blah. Oh, by the way, I did one thing on social media. We changed our thing to this little cartoon penguin. By the way, it's by this company Igloo, blah blah blah." And I got however many impressions, however many likes, however many comments. This thing is what people want. You can be with me or you can be against me. And forget the serious old people in Congress. They are people that want to keep their jobs. And if they want to keep their jobs and they say, wow, this thing looks pretty popular, if I'm a congressperson that's trying to get a bill through, I'm leveraging that to say, like, if you want to be against us, you are going against the flow here. That could be bad for you come next November.
So essentially, by the way, do I sound better now, Payne? I had the wrong input on.
You're okay.
You still sound like you're across the room, but we can hear you fine.
It's okay. Like, don't sweat it. Like, we can understand you. We can hear you. It's not muffled or anything. It does sound like you're away from the mic, but that's okay. You're coming through loud.
Oh, I figured out why. It's because maybe that's better. I don't know. Anyways, so essentially you're looking at it like they're trying to appeal to the next crop of voters that are going to help keep them in their positions so that way they can continue to push forward these policies and agendas because of their support for NFTs, blockchain, crypto, etc.
Not even, it could be that deep. My comment was less deep. My comment was, it's populist voting, right? It is, look, think about it in terms of, I'm Timmons, I'm the lead author on a bill that I want to get through. That bill has to deal with NFTs. I need to prove to people that voting for NFTs is not a bad thing to do politically. So I run this stunt, and it's a stunt, right? This could have totally backfired on them, right? So I do this thing, and I say, hey, 10,000 likes, and I change the PFP. I didn't see how many likes that thing has. Well over 10,000, right? Then I change the PFP, my staff changes the PFP, and I get a bunch of other engagement and positive comments and welcome to the huddles and blah, 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 blah. So now I've proven to people NFTs are not evil. NFTs have a large groundswell of support. It's not political kryptonite. Hear me out and vote on my bill, right? Because that's the thing. Like, no one wants to be sitting in a primary in May or a general election in November as a politician and saying, like, and having their opponent come out and say, you voted against a really popular thing. Because then I'm going to go get whoever in my district or my, the region that I'm voting in, whether it's a district or a state, I don't want them thinking badly about me. So now, are all the people who comment on this thing U.S. citizens? No. Are all the people who comment on this thing in any of the specific districts that this guy is trying to, get votes together for? Who knows, right? But it's a nice little shot across the bow that just says, hey, Lots of people care about NFTs. I have a bill about NFTs. If you vote for this, you'll be voting on the side of all of these people. That could be a good thing for you come next year when you're up for election.
That makes sense. And I think I finally fixed the mic input thing.
Oh, it does sound better, Joey. Well done. Well done. I have also breaking news. I'm not going to share it now. I'm not going to distract us, but I'm just going to say someone may have been listening to the show this morning, and I've got a text message. We'll close the show with that later.
God, I was hoping it was about Latinas.
Wait, did she find you? Did she finally find you?
Oh no, she's found me previously. She was, I think, our Payne. I think she was our one Spotify listener previously. Now she's found the live show, and again, we're not going to distract us. We're going to stay on point, and we'll.
Latinas are crafty.
I am 100% distracted, and I would like to get her judge's ruling live via text message on your pronunciation of that delicious food.
It says that, for the record, I've been saying it right since day one, as she told me. She also does like me a lot, but doesn't mean she wouldn't be correcting me if it was necessary. So she also said, can't believe another Venezuelan threw them under the bus. I don't think it was another Venezuelan. I think it was other Latinas not from Venezuela who are pronouncing it differently. That's the alpha. That's what we found out on the show. The pronunciation of arepas may have to do with where, what region you're from, apparently. Now I'm really sweating, but
I can feel the perspiration from here.
It's also talking regarding the spiciness and Latina spiciness. The first comment wasn't about my pronunciation or anything. It says, I'm not gonna dox her. I'm not gonna out her name or anything. May or may not still be listening. It was on her way to work, so she might have fallen off by now. But the first comment had nothing to do with pronunciations. Rather, talking Latinas, she says it's not fair how we're tagged so hard. Being as far as the spiciness, the Latinas and their spiciness, it's just not fair how they're all stereotyped. Because, however, some testimonies may be correct. Joey, go ahead, Von Front, and we'll go back to Joey.
I literally watched the video on Instagram this morning of Latinas throwing their shoes at their boyfriends because their boyfriends tried to play a prank on them. So they're pretty feisty.
You welcome to my Instagram feed, and I blame Von Frutton primarily.
So in Miami, they're called chanclas.
Yeah, chanclas. Yeah, I've been hit with them my whole life.
Yep, it's like a flip flop, and if you're not behaving, your mother will hit you with one, or your significant other will throw it at you.
Here's the best news that's come out of me going an extended cold open, bringing my personal life into the show, is someone recommended. I'm probably going to say this wrong, but Diego, I think, recommended cachapas, CHCHAPA. Here's the thing. Could you just give me
cachapas?
Cachapas. Could you give me an easy word next time? Cachapas. And I said, actually, simultaneously, as I was sending a text talking about arepas again, someone said I need to try cachapas. And then, like, as I sent that, I also got the message that she was listening to the podcast on the way to work. There's so much I want to share about Latinas and our spiciness. And followed up the cachapas with and tequeños, TEQUENOS.
Tequeños. They're actually just like little rolled pastries with cheese in them. They're phenomenal. Like think of like a Latin
Parmesan cap.
Yeah, think of like a Latin.
We are 100% having a Steve. I'm sorry, we got to do it. The people, it's too many people want to talk about Latino food, Latin food. We have to have a Latin food segment. We'll have to have the segment so we don't have to talk about Latin food for 80 minutes. We can cram it in like 90 seconds a day about our Latin food corner. Because apparently I'm getting all the Latin food here because she said she has a list. For Christmas, I'll have to try Hallacas, HALLACAS.
Ayacas.
Guys, you got invited to Christmas.
Yeah, it's pronounced ayacas.
And Machiavelli, more importantly, I have not been uninvited to Friendsgiving tomorrow. So
let's go. This show has really evolved since Steve went on sabbatical. That's all I got to say. It's really evolved. We're going in this grand direction. I love it.
Cap, if you want to really impress them for the holidays, find a place where you can buy fresh pan de jamon and show up with some pan de jamon. It's a very traditional, like, holiday. It's basically bread with ham, and it's very, very, like, it's like comfort food for the holidays. So if you can find a place where you can get it like fresh baked and show up with that, you talk about some bonus brownie points.
I'm in. Bring me all the Latin alpha. Make me look like I'm not only can pronounce things correctly, but am aware of something before I get made aware of it. Wally, welcome to the stage. GM, this is a shill-free show. Definitely don't shill what you shared yesterday.
No, definitely not, brother. That's between me and you, bro. I was getting a headache listening to all this Latin alpha, bro. It's cachapas and arepas, papi. You just gotta come to Miami, bro, and we'll spice it up, bro. I got you when you get here, bro.
I'm in. And the other one that's on my list for Art Basel this year for sure is Board Cuban. We actually, I don't know if it'll work time-wise, but we may have to see if we can pull off a live Coffee with Captain at Board Cuban. Or if there's a better Venezuelan restaurant in the we gotta hit up Board Cuban. We gotta support Board Cuban. I've yet to do it down there. So
yeah, that'll be epic, bro.
Yeah, thanks for jumping up.
What
Appreciate
day,
it.
Captain?
What's that?
What day would you be doing that? I gotta be there.
I don't know yet. Probably. So I did get I got a VIP Art Basel pass for the first time ever. I don't know if I've ever had an Art Basel pass, and this year I got hooked up with a VIP one. It's a 1-day pass, so I need to figure out, and I can go early, so I just don't know. I don't know. Good question. I need to figure out soon though, and probably should get a hotel unless I am actually planning on sleeping in my car. Bon Fronten.
Okay, I'm old enough to remember when Coffee with Captain used to talk about all things crypto and Web3. But that's besides the point. So Machiavelli, I bless you, sir, thinking that Captain has already planned things around Art Basel this far ahead of time. You will not know the live event until like the day of. It is much like a guerrilla takeover. You're just gonna have to just be like driving around the city, waiting to hear about it, and then like you just make a beeline and hope you get through traffic in time.
Park outside of Board Cuban. That's just I'm just gonna kick it outside of Board Cuban while I'm there.
Like honestly, like I think hotels around Board Cuban are probably the alpha, just so you're ready every morning, just in case. But no, I was originally going to say, Captain, since we are, since we're completely off the rails and in full Latin mode, I was fully anticipating the text from your lady friend to be like, "Hey, not fair that all Latinas are getting a bad rap, but also like you got 2 months and 3 weeks left of this motherfucker, so be ready."
Yeah, I am. I really don't. I'm sure we all have that in us somewhere. I really don't think she does. Like, my read on people, my intuition's pretty good. I am very familiar with the spicy Latinas. I just don't think Payne, we can't say that out loud. I'm not going to, again, you got to have to go to the war room for Payne's takes. That is not going to be a segment. The flip-flop thing, this was new to me. I've seen it. I didn't realize they actually had a specific name, but
so there's a team in San Antonio called the Flying Chanclas.
Incredible. I think I was adopted as a baby. There's like it's a very, very, very small chance, very, very, very small chance based on my pasty paleness. But I don't know my biological parents. It's in the range of outcomes that I actually have some Latin in me. It's possible.
Cap, based on your pronunciations today, there is a 0% chance you have any Latin in you.
I blame the southeastern Ohio dialect for that. Back on point though, I could talk Latinas all morning, especially the kind ones that are not spicy. But I'm also, again, if I do something to deserve the spiciness, I'll embrace it. I'll take it. But back to the Pudgy DC takeover. Do we think we see more? Do we think we see more congressmen, senators rocking Pudgy PFPs? Do we think this is the beginning of a campaign? We did have Let me see who it was, give proper credit. We did have, I think it was Smart Dumb Man in the abstract chat. Yes, Smart Dumb Man said, Luca has said on prior town halls that they have part of the Pudgy team is dedicated to politics and lobbying. To which Thomas follows up, it's going to be less than 3 months, just saying. Feel the wrath.
So they're just dumping money into DC? Because that's what lobbying is, right? It's paying politicians.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, yes, but so I'm apolitical. I'm not a lobbyist. I've lobbied one thing in my entire life, and this was years ago, but it was for the right to repair. I was building a phone repair franchise, and Apple and other manufacturers. It wasn't just Apple. It was like actually the most famous one was John Deere. Got the most heat because John Deere, they'd sell these expensive tractors and essentially prohibit anyone from working on them other than John Deere. They never owned the tractors, they never owned the technology or the software that was controlling their GPS. Like these tractors, these smart tractors are smarter than Tesla's probably up until the recent update. They could do all the stuff, but if it broke, they couldn't just fix it. Even though a lot of these farmers are handy, they had the tools, they were capable of fixing it, but the manufacturers would lock it down, not share operations manual, not only that, but not sell parts and make it very hard for people to distribute aftermarket parts. Same thing took place in the phone repair business. Apple, Samsung, all of them said, no, you can't use our parts. And they were going after even some of the high quality aftermarket ones, saying they're gray marketing. Long story short, it was something I was passionate about. It was a business I was building. And so, and I do okay in front of a room. And so I agreed to go to a congressional hearing in Nebraska, of all places, to help lobby on behalf of the repair industry. In my case, it was the phone repair industry, but it was basically, it was funny because it was like some of us in the phone repair business that, all looked similar to me. And then it was a bunch of farmers in their 50s and 60s lobbying on behalf of right to repair, which has worked, by the way. We ended up, it wasn't because of, maybe it was because of right to repair. I don't know. But Apple would eventually capitulate. Samsung would capitulate. We ended up doing deals with both parties, and we got their parts. And not only their parts, we got access to their training and able to provide a better customer experience and crush the monopolistic empires. We didn't pay. We didn't pay to do that. We just spoke. Now, you better believe that AT&T, Verizon, Apple, all the major players, they had lobbyists that were there it wasn't like someone from Apple at the hearing. It was a lobbyist that they probably paid, I don't know, 6-7 figures to lobby on their behalf. But I don't know. There's a world where Igloo, Luca, and team, they're not paying anything to get Mr. Timmons and team lobbying on their behalf. It's something that Timmons and team are already passionate about, they're already on board with. And they, like someone said earlier, they view leaning into crypto in the community here as a net positive, and it's a win-win. I've never been to DC for a congressional hearing. I've never met with lobbyists. All I know is from my own personal journey, one congressional hearing, we lobbied, but it was individuals like me. It'd be like a bunch of crypto bros going to a congressional hearing to lobby on behalf of crypto. May not seem the most effective. It worked. In our case, it worked. Like many states, I've been out of the industry for a couple of years now, so I've been paying attention. But when I left, I think there was like 30 of the 50 states had enacted some sort of right to repair legislation, basically prohibiting Apple and John Deere from being, the evil empires. Von Front, go ahead. You know more about this than me.
I don't know about that, but in my previous life, there was a period of time about 8-9 years ago that I was pretty involved in lobbying. So to Machiavelli's point, is it just throwing money at politicians? It can be. Usually what happens, and it can happen both ways, right? So we don't know what Luca's doing. So I'm not going to say Igloo is or is not doing anything. But there's a couple different ways that, in the US, you can get your point across, right? If you have something that is not on the radar whatsoever, nobody is talking about it, but it is very important to you. You are kind of swimming upstream. Most of the time, what that does is you start making donations to, you know, the Timmons of the world, the people who have the power, who sit on the committees to actually influence the change you need. And by doing a donation, that helps you get a meeting, right? They get thousands of requests every single, you know, week or month. They cannot meet with everybody who wants to meet with them. So then they prioritize, and like it or not, big donors will get bumped to the front of the list. So if you come in and say, hey, we just threw down, pick a number, 20 grand as a donation or whatever that number is, that's going to get you to the top of the list. You're going to get to go in and have a meeting. Now, usually you're not meeting directly with the congressperson directly, at least not the first one. You're going to meet someone on the staff, and you're going to try to convince them. And if they think like, hey, this could make sense, this is good for, you know, my boss's political future, whatever, then maybe you get to work your way up and actually talk to the congressperson. Now, if it's an issue that is already a hot button topic and you happen to be a thought leader coming in right at the right time, yeah, you don't need to make a donation. Maybe you're just going to be at the front of the line because they already care about it and they are seeking out people to have this conversation. So I don't know what came first. Was Timmons already passionate about NFTs? And, you know, the Igloo crew raised their hand and say, hey, we got NFTs. And he said, cool, let's talk. Or did Timmons not even know what an NFT was? And because Luca and the team barged in the door, cash in hand, and got in front of him and convinced him, who knows? And to be honest, we may never know. But I think the important thing is whether it's Igloo or Coinbase or Insert, you know, crypto-centric company here, you know, it is on the forefront now of at least some laws that are being discussed or some bills that are being discussed in the houses of Congress. I think that's a great thing, right? It may not pump our bags up front. It may not pump our bags ever because different things, you know, speculation and, you know, leveraging and all these other kind of stuff influence the market that we all sit and trade in. But if we're thinking about, boy, does this set up the stage for companies to continue to build in Web3, for more entrepreneurs to start in Web3, for that to be a safe and sustainable place to actually start a business in the US, and that's something that we all like, then yeah, this is a huge positive movement. You know, hopefully the bill, you know, I haven't actually looked at the bill, so I'm not going to say hopefully the bill passes. Maybe the bill has a bunch of horrible stuff in it. But at least it's, you know, it went from not being talked about to being vilified to now at least being discussed in open dialogue. I look at that as progress.
I agree. I think it's certainly progress. I think it could be, there's where it's like great progress. And I'm not the expert. I've been through DC. I've never spent any time in DC. I've never had any meetings in DC on a political front whatsoever. So this is coming from a spot of uneducation. However, having experienced what I did in the repair business, specifically the phone repair business for me, what you just said, it is real. Like, because while the corporations were having to pay lobbyists to go lobby for them, the ones who are already lobbying for the repairs, it was a topic that they were genuinely, authentically passionate about. We weren't paying them a dime. Now, there was a right to repair lobby that had a team that was organizing stuff and helping with information, but I'm pretty certain that they were not paying the people, the actual representatives, the actual congressmen women who were actually pushing forward these bills. It was something that they viewed as the right thing to do by way of their constituents, just like I believe there's active current politicians who believe the right thing to do for their constituents is to embrace the digital assets, to embrace blockchain technology, to make it safer and not as, you know, seedy is the word that comes to mind, not as, you know, underground, like bring it to the forefront. And this is one of those things where, I don't know, maybe Luca just stroked a six-figure check and they all decided they were going to swap our PFPs for this. My gut tells me that's not the case. My gut tells me Simmons, because he's on the digital asset subcommittee and otherwise, this is something that he's passionate about. It's something he's talked to his constituents about already. And this is more of a I don't know the word for it. You can tell I'm not a political person. This is more of like a partnership, a collaboration, than it is a pay-to-play type situation. This is my guess. It's my read. I don't know. Even if it is, still probably a big thing. Even if it is a pay-to-play, the fact that they're doing it, a lot of good chats today, by the way. I just got distracted again by James Hall. You also win. You win that chat. That's a different chat from my earlier GM post. You win that chat this morning. The chat is, you all have made today's show extremely enjoyable. Oh boy. We have breaking news. I'm not sure what it is. Not sure if I'm in trouble. I'm not sure if I'm going to be like, what WTF are you doing? Or if Steve wants to add a pronunciation or two, or more probably an actual take on U.S. government and politics and what this big PFP changes means. Steve, always a pleasure, sir. The stage is yours.
GM, yeah. I only have a couple minutes, but I'm listening to this. And I had two things that came to mind. I almost came up earlier with one of them. One of them is, if you want to know what this is about, my guess is, and I don't know this for a fact, but Luger reminds me of a lot of executives I work in the past. He's super excited, and a lot of times what you hear coming out of his mouth is the most recent top-of-mind thing. Like, you know, and I'm Cap, you probably have experience with these exacts, where go to a meeting, they get really excited, and they come back and tell their direct reports, and then they'll mention it casually in conversation where it doesn't even fit. So pay attention to whatever he's saying on interviews right now, because that's probably an indicator of what's going on. But I think the bigger point here is that if I was a betting man, which I obviously am because I'm in crypto, my general guess here is that this probably isn't like the Penguin team is suddenly like breaking in and going to Washington. My guess is this is them leveraging their relationship with Van Eck, who could probably work very tightly with not just digital asset regulators, but general regulators. And they're probably working them in there. And if you're Van Eck, you don't necessarily need the credit for lobbying this stuff forward, but you know it benefits you greatly if you allow your partner company who rang the opening bell exchange as Dow Jones shotgunned a beer from inside a costume. I think that you probably have a, you know, incentivization with a Pengu ETF weighting, other digital ETFs weighting, NFT digital sort of ETF related things weighting. It probably benefits you to work with people. You probably are already putting a good amount of money into Congress. So maybe I'm wrong, but if I was connecting the dots on sort of the Charlie Day sort of, you know, corkboard here, my guess is that Van Eck gives them a strategic step up to kind of take credit for these things where maybe they're involved passively. I'm sure they bring them into the conversation, but I don't think like, you know, Joey Moose is throwing on my Penguin as me mask and going to Congress and they're like, I buy it. Let me change my PFP. I think it's probably entirely more likely that, you know, Van Eck already has these pre-existing relationships and they're leveraging some of those. So that would be my guess. I'm not sure, but I would just throw that in the conversation. I'll probably jump down in a second, but I want to add that because that was my read when I started seeing this happen.
You're probably right. No, it's a good read. And although it would be a lot cooler if this whole PFP change came because Joey Moose went to Congress rocking his.
I mean, while Steve's up here, are we going to ask him about his Latin cuisine favorite item or no?
Oh, I celebrate all Latin cuisine. So, I mean, if you give me like, I mean, Mexican food is an elite cuisine. I have a friend who doesn't like it, and I think he's out of his mind. But like, you know, Cuban cuisine, I'm a big fan of. Pretty much anything you give me that has any sort of Latin cuisine slant to it. As Cap was mentioning the other day, I mean, we're the idiots who are in France, and when they asked us a question, we answered si. So we don't necessarily. First of all, that's how much we love Latin cuisine. Number one. But number two, we answered si to French cuisine, to a French street vendor. But like, because we're dedicated to the game and we're about that life. That's how hard we go in the paint. But I think like any Latin cuisine you put in front of me, I will probably eat. Like I have yet to find one I don't. Now, this is the hot take I have. My wife loves plantains. I only like plantain chips. I don't think mushy bananas belong on a plate. But I also think like that's okay if people do enjoy those. Those are not my jam. But outside of that,
what about tostones?
I don't even know what that word means. Like, I don't know what you just said.
Tostones are like the double fried plantains. They're
they're
fried.
If they're
mashed.
Okay, so Joey's just flexing at this point, which I respect. Instead of just going like, "Hey, what about fried plantains?" He goes tostones, which I actually appreciate. I will take a fried plantain chip with guacamole and sort of eat it on its own too. I can accept that. It's when you serve me a mushy baby food banana next to ropa vieja. I don't need that in my life. I would rather replace that with more rice, something else that's delicious, that isn't, because it's basically like, it's soft food. It's food for people 90 or above who need soft digestive food or have, teeth that can't quite chew it. But outside of that, Latin food across the board, that's probably my only one nuanced take there.
I'm sorry, Cap. I'm sorry I did it again.
No, I actually got to thank Steve for coming up and giving his plantain take because it gives me air cover. I feel the same way. I'm not a banana fan. I haven't wanted to critique the plantains because I don't want I don't want to be excommunicated from the Latin community. So I just, if I'm served plantains, I'll eat them. Plantain chips, fine. The soft mushy plantains, I'll eat them, but it's not my jam.
It's like fries exist for a reason. They're like I saw a post the other day. They said, once again, potatoes have won vegetable of the year for the 947th year in a row. And I'm a true believer in that as far as, the potato is such a good, versatile vegetable. I know it lacks a lot of health benefits. I don't care. It's delicious in my tummy. And so I like I like fries. I love.
So I'm assuming you're a big fan of fried yuca then.
I like barbecue baked potatoes.
Yes, Machiavelli, right? It's but fried yuca, I will do as well. So there's a Cuban place by me that does fried plantains and fried yuca in sort of with guacamole, and I will eat that. And I'll celebrate any type of guacamole. I know that there are some people who get upset when you put freaky stuff in it. I'll go the freaky stuff. I'll go straight from the tap. It doesn't matter to me. Avocados are electric. So, but yeah, when it comes down to the plantains, they're the only thing that I would throw off the plate because you could throw a fried potato on there, which are readily available to be grown in a variety of different climates and ecosystems.
They got to do something with the plantains, though, Steve. They got to do something with them.
What they should do with the plantains is make plantain crust. I don't like the soft, mushy plantains by themselves.
That might be $1 billion industry right there, Cap.
No. The best use of plantains is mofongo.
Look at my screen right now, Joe. This chocolate tart with a little bit of ice cream, but the chocolate tart. This is all the crust was plantain crust. It was incredible.
That sounds great.
That's what they should do with plantains.
That sounds like a very effective use of plantains, number one. So first of all,
that looks delicious. It really
gets
does.
to that. Absolutely.
It was solving the world's problems on Coffee with Captain.
It was also 1,800 calories, but it was worth it.
Just treat plantains like a banana. Like bananas are fantastic for a variety of use cases. You can freeze them and then use them in this sort of banana healthy smoothie ice cream type stuff that has a really good healthy dessert. You could just eat them straight. You could give them to your grandma, your baby, or a stray monkey. They all work, but I just don't necessarily think that plantains are made to be cooked, mushed, and put on a plate.
But here's the thing, though: if the plantains are cooked correctly, the outside gets this caramelized, crunchy texture. So that way they're not just mushy.
Yeah, but a fried banana is a dessert. That's my point. It's you fry a banana with a little bit of cinnamon and sugar and some butter. You caramelize the outside. You get this crispy outside. I've made those at home, and then you kind of bite into them and you have the warm, gooey center. To me, that is a treat. And I understand some people like the sweet savory thing. I'll do it in spots, but I think, the proportion of a pile of mushy. My read on it is that plantains are probably readily available and inexpensive, so they're an easy thing to throw on the side. Is my read on it, and they became sort of this accepted thing. That's my gut on that. If I were guessing, I'm just.
I would always go tostones or fried yuca over sweet plantains because you're right. The sweet plantains are more of a dessert. But I will say, if you get a chance and you haven't had it yet, have mofongo. Mofongo has the plantains in it. It is I believe, Dominican or Puerto Rican. I can't remember right now, but mofongo is amazing.
Mofongo is Puerto Rican.
There you go. Thank you.
Real quick.
Yeah, go for it, aspiring nobody. You're qualified to speak. You're a qualified expert to speak on this topic.
Yes, that's why I put my hand up because I actually had tostones last night that my Dominican wife cooked for me. And if you cook them correctly, and you put salt on them, they are not mushy or dessert food whatsoever.
All I know,
but they do get used a lot in mofongo. I do not do mofongo. My wife does very much so, but I won't touch it.
All I know, our bags might be down. We might be in a bear market. before the next bowl, we're gonna have every single man that listens dating a Latina. I'm pretty convinced of that. Steve,
and then we'll all need a therapy group to go to together.
Let me ask you this: have you had the flip flop thrown at you yet, Aspiring Nobody?
Not the flip flop, just because.
It's not
no, but it is a thing. 100%, it is a thing.
Not only is it a thing, they weren't kidding that there's actually a baseball team in San Antonio that is I can't remember what it's called already.
It's been years still, Captain.
I kind of miss it.
I ain't gonna lie, brother. Being Hispanic, like your mother would throw the chancleta at you since you were little. So yeah, but we're used to that kind of abuse, bro.
Chancleta. I'll get this stuff down. It's going to take 17 more attempts for me. Steve, do you think, one last question before you get out of here, appreciate you jumping up for beyond just the air cover on my plantain take. Someone said Coinbase, it was actually crypto.com that also switched up a Pudgy PFP yesterday. Do you think they're just following the trend? Do you think do you think they're in DC as well? Do you think there's more than meets the eye here?
I don't think it's like anything too deep. I mean, I think PFP switches there's a couple things that happen with PFP switches for companies like Coinbase. One, it's part of a larger deal, so maybe they're doing something there. Two, it's a partnership or an agreement and they're getting something on the other end of it. Or three, to your point, it could just be for fun. I wouldn't say that like I think a lot of people are like, like one of the things we try to do in this space that is like, we try to front run and be like, oh my God, does this mean the Pengu ETF is getting launched tomorrow? And it's like, probably not. I don't think it's like Ripple just got approved and suddenly we're going to go Pengu next. Like I know the floodgates are open with some standard approvals that they passed based on some regulations they passed recently. But no, I don't think there's anything more to meet the eye outside of like, some friendly sort of like, hey, let's do a swap. It gets people talking. It gets people attention. And to be honest, like staying relevant, I mean, most of the companies in this space, the major companies, do PFP swaps at various times. It gets some attention from a community. It causes a little bit of a different look on the timeline. People enjoy it. It's playful. So I don't think it's anything more than that if I were guessing. Like, I don't think anything is super afoot right now. I would guess, like, Pengu ETF is not – that would be the only thing, right? And I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, although at the same time I don't know. Maybe it's going to sneak up on us. I did miss the announcement that the Van Eck Solana ETF, VSOL, went live on November 17th, so earlier this week. And it's not lost on me that their 53-second commercial that they included with the post, while it does have the Solana logo in there, it's a bunch of Pudgy Penguins announcing it. So it's a VSOL, their Solana ETF, and the entire commercial is Pudgy.
I mean, do you think Van Eck just owns some sort of stake in Pudgy Penguin at this point?
Yes.
So it's probably them just pumping their own bags?
Yes, I believe, my guess is Van Eck or a subsidiary or something, or I think they're probably in far deeper. I think it's more than just owning Pengu and maybe Pudgy NFTs. I think they're probably on the Igloo cap table, if I were to guess. Some way or another. It may not be Van Eck proper, but it's a very... Yes, my assumption is it's a very deep relationship, and this is a big thing. So I think my other point, last thought I had on this topic, I did see some people kind of dunking on it. I saw some people in the comments of Williams like, oh, do you own it or did you just right click save it? I saw another captain who I like, I'm a fan of, kind of dunk on it, quote tweet and said, I don't get the point. If you're not gonna buy the asset, then what, who cares? I replied and I said, we should care. This is a big win for all of us. This is someone who's on financial committees and digital asset subcommittees. Like, I would rather have them at least aware of NFTs and Pudgy Penguins than not aware. Like, I don't know how you can spin it this any way negative, any way, shape, or form, except for the PvP element. Am I off there, Steve?
No, I would agree. I mean, I think it's like part of like, look, I mean, I didn't dive deep into the article, but I saw that the sort of Nuco, folks went live with their AI where you can customize their Nuco PFPs and get them all over the place. I mean, the concept of proliferation, like the thing that Kevin Rose got right and wrong at the same time is the CC0 was wrong based on how they rolled it out. CC0 inherently isn't a bad thing if you're trying to proliferate IP at times. And so I would almost ascribe this to being like a CC0 light version of, yes, the Penguin PFPs aren't CC0, but, they're using some variation or some customary because they like the art. I mean, if, I think if anybody in any community had this same scenario, I think they would be very happy with the outcome, regardless if they own the asset or not. Do you want them to own the asset? Sure. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's nitpicking to say, do you own the asset? Should they, and do they want to get them there? Yeah, absolutely. But do I look at that PFP and be like, oh man, he doesn't own it, lols? It's like, well, no, I mean, he used the IP. It's like, the example I'll use is do you think, Disney people from Disney World see, ladies posting with Mickey Mouse ears in front of the castle and be like, they don't own that castle, they should change their PFP from their Facebook profile? No, it's good for Disney. So I don't think it's bad here in this instance. It's not the most optimal, but it's certainly not the least optimal. It's, is it performative? That's a debatable thing based on how we want to approach it. But it's better than not. I think better is better, and we sometimes get away from the idea of a net positive versus what the net perfect is. And I think net positive, yes. Is it perfect? No. Would I like him to own it? Yeah. Is it bad for the brand? No. Is it bad for Web3 and NFTs? No. It's net good for all of the above is kind of the approach. And I think to your point, I think people are going to PvP, particularly apes and penguins, at all times. So we're just going to see it, but it's a win, and they have the right partners in Washington. So I think it's good.
Agreed. Good take. And you're also the consummate professional, because without us talking, we joke after 1,000 shows, we often can repeat each other's sentences. The only other topic I had on my tick list this morning was Nuco. Someone even mentioned it in the war room. That's what I got pulled up here. Nuco, Austin, and team, the former the Doodle crew. They've been teasing this for a while. They just went live yesterday with their site. I've not played around with it yet, but I've got this post pinned up top. This is the site here, and if anyone has been in there, I'd be curious. My high level understanding is it's a. I should probably not. My limited view, my understanding is it's a AI content creation tool that will enable you to. Now, the one thing that I think I saw someone mention yesterday, I think it was maybe actually Von Frunten, that it's a pay to use. So they're launching it with a business model in mind. I believe my read is this is a iteration or an evolution of DreamNet. I from what I understood about DreamNet to be, I think this is that, Team Left Doodles, this is their take on or continuation of DreamNet. The Meme Depot, Austin's article here. I'm going to share this now, and I'll kind of skim through this. If anyone has any takes, if anyone's been in there, I'd love to get your takes on it. I will play around a little more today. I have a snake, I believe it is. I have one of the badges courtesy of Von Frunten. Thank you. But here's the G-Boy app beta is now live. It says the traditional Web3 playbook has been to mint tokens, raise a bunch of money, and then from your community, and then figure out how to bring value. F that. Today we're putting some of the early tools we've been using at Nuco directly into your hands. The problem, AI didn't democratize creativity. It was supposed to democratize creativity, flatten the gap between what's on your mind and what you can make. That's promise in theory. In reality, we're stuck at a nightmarish barbell. On one side, one shot generic slop for the masses. On the other, insanely complex workflows requiring dozens of tools per professional. Everything feels isolated. Generations lack consistency, and our creations morph wildly between attempts. You don't need to see another picture of Will Smith eating spaghetti to know the tools have improved. But for those of us who've been trying to build something sustainable, something with compounding worth, the general purpose tools are failing us. We're closer to dead internet hellscape flooded with six-fingered nightmares and inconsistent outputs than the golden age of creation. The real barrier to co-creation, we know our community is full of insanely talented artists. We're grateful they chose to spend time building our world. But for every Scotty, there are hundreds of community members brimming with ideas that simply don't have the tools. When AI came along, they thought, finally, a way to proliferate ideas that have meaning to me. Instead, the tools let them down. Everything becomes slop. I'm going to pause there. I get the take, and there's a lot of slop. I also think it's a little hyperbole. Like, I use AI every day, and if it's slop, I go back to the drawing board. I don't put out the slop. But it's not all doom and gloom from the large tools from my perspective and my personal live journey. But I understand what they're attempting to solve for. And why, back to the article, why this is why is it that Web3 prides itself on co-creation, yet so often regulates community work to fan fiction? It's as if projects are saying, sure, we value your contributions, but please keep them over here in the sandbox while we grown-ups are at work. Technical reason for this failure is simple. We're using general purpose tools on general purpose training sets and hoping for hyper-specific outcomes. The only characters to stand up a chance, they've been around long enough to have ample training data for LLM overlords. Hope you like Pokemon because it's the menu for every meal from now on. The problem was never technology. It was the training data, the consistency, the quality. We fixed that for you. The Gboy app is in the first step, is the first step in the new ecosystem. How it works, AI native IP is the first AI native IP in Web3 built from the ground up with fine-tuned models, shaped with months of iteration, custom models, great pipelines, characters don't morph between generations, styles don't shift wildly, details don't disappear. So what they're saying is cool. My concern or pushback without going under the hood is I don't think the LLMs stop. Like the LLMs are going to continue to get better. And this isn't a shot at Nuka. This is my concern or challenge for anyone building an AI right now. Is it reminds me of like the early app store. Like if you build something that's so good and you find product market fit, what's to stop LLM or what's to stop any of the LLMs? What's to stop ChatGPT or Gemini from creating a model that does the same thing? And someone's gonna tell me, well, technically they can't. I struggle to understand. I think they will. So I think like for this long-term sustainability, I think community is really important. I think having some IP you're building around is really important. And I'm rooting for them. I want to see it work. It is a grand vision. It's a big swing. I'm not going to read the rest of it all in detail, but it is pinned up at top. The app is live. Get in there, play around with it. Let me know what you think. We'll get Austin and the team on here maybe tomorrow. If not, we'll find a day next week to get them on here. We also have some other good guests lined up for next week. So next week will be less Latin cuisine conversation, more crypto conversation. We'll maybe sprinkle in a Latin corner just since the people demand it. But yeah, Machiavelli, Wally, Aspiring Nobody. Any of you had a chance to play around with Nuko yet or G-Boy Special?
No, sir.
I know you're big in other side.
I'll go check it out for sure.
Are you what's your just general thoughts, high level thoughts on the like where my brain merges is like I think AI characters, AI PCs are going to be a big thing in the other side. I think there's already some in there, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, it's funny because I don't believe that there's any quite in there yet, but I know that tech is coming. I know being able to attach the LLM to the character, have it run around, be a part of a storyline and stuff like that. Like that's just it. The gaming evolving. Like they already do it in traditional like releases and stuff, but like eventually it'll be live one day. So I am gearing up for that for not only my storytelling, but I think that it's a great opportunity. Anybody out there to, if you look at where this is moving, like this is going to be valuable.
Yeah, I agree. Conceptually, and I just it's there.
Conceptually,
like you could argue like the swing they're taking is maybe not on the scale of other side, but it's a big swing. It is going to be a Herculean effort for them not to just grow this thing, but to build some sort of a moat where, with an update, ChatGPT or Anthropic or Gemini can't just say here's our thing. It's the same thing, better for free. DeFi Attic in the chat says 3 days ago SEC removed crypto from its priority list. I missed that SEC announcement. If you got a link or something, I'd be curious to read more. If not, no worries. It said also important crypto bill is being pushed to pass Congress by Thanksgiving. So we've got the crypto bill is being pushed to pass in the next week. The Addict says to me, this is why we're seeing Congressman, PFP, and NFT. Very well could be. Cool Chick adds crypto.com already in with the administration. We got another potato takedown there, and Joey posted more pictures of food. Good show. Interesting show. It's been an interesting week. One of a kind. Diablito said Steve is Irish, whether he knows it or not. Not sure if that was in reference to his vernacular or if it was food take, but man, I can't wait to try more Latin cuisine though. That's my big takeaway from the day is I've been it's far more than just arepas. I'm just going to keep everyone on their toes. My goal is now to pronounce it different every single time I say the word. We will be back tomorrow, as always, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We will, and then so I won't have any more food takes tomorrow. But come Monday morning, I will have I'll have a debrief from Friendsgiving, and hopefully a treat or two there to share. But in all seriousness, it is. Is there anything today that we should be looking at? Any mints? Any activations? I had nothing on my radar in terms of specific things I should be paying attention to today. Machiavelli, anything on your watch list?
Yeah, honestly, there isn't anything quite on my watch list right now. I'm just prepping for this weekend's games and stuff like that, and just cooking in the background.
Cool. Wally, anything that you're specifically looking at today? Anything on your? I'm paying attention to this today.
Honestly, the only thing I was looking at was that Jessie token, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know about.
Is that today?
I think it's today, bro.
So yeah, Jessie really leaning into. You're not gonna. No one's gonna be shocked here. You're all not gonna believe this. That X search also not only could it not find Luca, it also couldn't find Jessie. It finds. It's insane, man. It finds Jessie fanclub.base.eth. It finds Jessie God on base chain, Jessie on base. It basically finds every account except Jessie Pollock. It's the worst it's ever been. From my personal experience, the X search it may be at an all-time low in terms of finding the exact opposite people that I'm looking for. So it's launching on Base app from his account jessie.base.eth. Up to and after the launch, expects people to try to impersonate him and Jessie. They'll share updates directly on X. It's launching today at 9 p.m. Pacific. Is that right? Is that 9 a.m. Pacific? Probably 9 a.m. I'm guessing. So noon Eastern.
If it's 9 a.m. Pacific, that's noon Eastern, yeah.
Yeah, so I think noon Eastern probably makes sense. Probably have so if they're true, we got 3 hours. 1 million people saw this tweet. Geesh. BankerBot deployer, the dev behind BankerBot, set up 3 automations to buy Jessie on base at the timestamp stated above. Buy 1,000 USDC worth 2 minutes and 5 minutes after the timestamp. Buy another 1,000 USDC. If the token doesn't exist at the times, do nothing. That is pretty cool.
Yo, Cab, actually, there is one thing that I saw pop up yesterday, and it was from Filter. They dropped CA Froge. He's like an AI-driven character, and he's like, if you go watch all the content on the page and stuff like that, and like it's been cooking. It's like 4.2 million, and it's just moving. So that's all. That was from yesterday, though.
No, appreciate you sharing. I will. I don't know if I'm going to buy this. Probably. I don't love it. Probably should just fade it. I really don't. I don't know. I'm probably going to play the game because the guy has attention. He is, for all intents and purposes, a face of base. I don't think they're going to back down from. I don't think they're going to back down from creator coins, content coins, etc. So you're talking someone that's got 320,000 followers and bull post base every single day. He's probably going to bull post his own token. And I mean, I have to take this conversation to the war, but help edge. What are those tokens open at? Is there a set? Like I've never got in on a launch one of these. Is it open at like a 50K market cap? Like how does exactly like, is there I guess I need to look. I got 2 hours to do a little bit of research. I also need to get a hold of several contractors today to make sure I decide whether the numbers still work on this house or the spreadsheet's broken. So busy day, busy week. And then we check out for a little bit tomorrow for Friendsgiving. So appreciate y'all being here. Thanks as always. Really enjoyed the conversation. Appreciate everyone who added to the conversation. Always a good time. And I hope you all enjoy some good Latin cuisine this weekend. Congratulations to the Pudgy team. I think it's impressive, whether it's paid or unpaid. It's Snyder Day. You get someone in Congress rocking a PFP and their whole team getting behind you. I still lean to think it's probably organic and a win-win, and they're looking to just something they're passionate about. And I think you're probably right. Steve was probably right. Van Eck probably involved there, and good stuff. Again, thanks everyone for being here. We do appreciate it. We're back every weekday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We'll be back tomorrow. And as Steve would say, we hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.